Hello, artists! My name is Megan, and I'm here with the Art Cart to talk to you all about how to make clay creatures like my friend Tristan here. Tristan, how are you feeling today? I'm sorry to hear about that. That sounds terrible. Well, let's get started and see if making a friend for you will help you out.
The materials you need will include white model magic clay, washable markers, and googly eyes. Start out by laying out your materials, and then you can think a little bit about what kind of animal you would like to create. Are they real or imaginary? Do they have feathers, scales, or fur? Maybe you want to combine a couple of different animals together. This is all up to you. It can help if you have permission from an adult to look at pictures online as well, so you can see more about what your animal looks like and how you want to incorporate those parts of your animal into your design. So once you've thought of what kind of animal you would like to make, you can think about what colors you will need. So you can see I have 3 different clumps of clay, and that is because I'm going to make an elephant, and the 3 colors I want to use are gray, pink, and white. So my big clump there is going to be gray, and you can see to color it, I'm taking my washable marker and stabbing it a bunch of times to make lots of little dots all over. Then I'll take my clay and pull it back and forth and fold it over itself again and again. Model magic is a super interesting material because if you pull it really slowly, it'll stretch, and if you pull it really quickly, it'll snap and come apart. So you can see it's already turning this light gray, but I am going to want to add more color, so I'm going to add some more dots now too. And this is something that can take a while. If you have a sibling that might want to help you, this can be kind of a fun thing to do with someone else too, because it can be a lot of pulling your clay back and forth. But I really like the process. I think it's really fun because you get to watch the clay slowly change color. So you can see it's a little bit darker now. I added a couple more layers of the black, and now I wanted to add some blue. So that's a cool thing with this process. You can mix a few different colors and see how they turn out, because I want my elephant to have a little bit of a blue tone. So you can just keep going until you feel like you're done. I really like this blue-gray that I've created. I think it's perfect for my elephant. So now I'm going to move on to my next color. So for my next color, I'm going to add some pink and I'm going to add some red. And I'm keeping this one a little bit more subtle too. I just want like a nice light pink red for this one. It's the exact same process as I did with the gray. So now you can see I've just about finished up my color. I've got a nice pink right here, and I think that's going to be perfect for the insides of my elephant's ears. So now that we've finished coloring our clay, we can get started sculpting. My first step is breaking my clay into the parts of my animal. So you can see I just made the shape of the head there, and you're just kind of trying to figure out how much clay you want for each part. So I know I want my elephant to have a big round back, so that's his back, and then a couple smaller little chunks of clay for the ears. You can see I'm putting them up there. And now I'm making the legs too. So I'm just breaking the clay into the pieces that I'm going to use. My next steps will involve rounding out my pieces a little bit. So I'm just going to roll them around in my hands to make them nice and smooth. And you can do this a bit differently depending on what kind of animal you have. If you have an animal that has more fur, maybe you don't have to care as much about having some smooth features. But I wanted my elephant to be smooth, so I'm just rolling everything around and trying to get a nice round shape to all of the pieces of my elephant. Then I can start sculpting some of the shapes in my elephant too. So now I'm going to add a trunk. And I'm just going to pull that piece of clay forward a little bit and then curl it up so that his trunk can have a nice little curl to it. And I'll find other ways to do this to all of my other pieces as well. Just kind of rounding them out and making them into nice big shapes. Now to attach them with Model Magic, this is a pretty easy process. Once Model Magic touches itself, it likes to stick. So once you set the head on top of the body, they should just kind of stick together. But you can use your fingers to smoothen them out a little bit too. I know that can help a lot. So you can see I've added the legs now. I'm a little bit further along. I'm just smoothing them into place a little bit with my fingers. And I pulled on the end of my elephant a little bit too, so he could have a nice little tail. And now I'm going to attach the ears. So I'm going to push my clay into a kind of triangular shape that reminds me of the shape of an elephant. And then I'm going to press them onto the ears. So you can see my elephant is pretty far along. He's all shaped out, and now the next step is to add some details. So I'm going to start out with my pink, and I want to use that to color the insides of his ears a little bit. You can see I'm just pressing the clay into place with my fingers, pushing it against the clay so it'll stay in place, and then kind of smoothing it out a little bit as well. So I'm going to do that on both sides with the pink, and now I want to add some white details as well. So I want to add some tusks, and I want to give my elephant little white feet too. So I'm going to add those now, and using the exact same process. So you can see I added my details. He has little tusks now, and I also pushed my eyes in as well. Pushing in the eyes is really simple. You just take the two googly eyes that you have in your art kit and press them into place. So now my elephant is all done. The only thing left is to think of a name. I'm going to name mine Ellie.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed making your clay creatures. I know I sure did, and Tristan seems pretty happy about it too. Tristan, how do you feel about your new friend Ellie? Do you all hear that? Tristan is purring. Be sure to follow our social media if you get the chance. Send us pictures of what you make. We love to see what you all create. And I wanted to say thank you so much for such a wonderful season. We are so grateful we have you all coming to pick up kits and to make your wonderful artwork. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay healthy and safe, and we'll catch you next summer at the Art Cart.